A very good evening to all the respected participants. Welcome to day 6 of the 1 week International Faculty Development Program on Curriculum Development, Research and Publication Ethics, organized by the Department of English and Other Foreign Languages, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram Campus, Chennai. There is a saying that goes like this: your most important investment is yourself. So if you plagiarize, you are cheating yourself. Plagiarism is detrimental to academic health and is unethical for three reasons. Firstly, it is unethical because it is a form of theft. By taking ideas and words of others and pretending they are your own, you are stealing someone else's intellectual property. Secondly, it is unethical because the plagiarizer subsequently benefits from this theft. And then you are cheating the entire academic process of submitting original research work. To offer some valuable insights into this ever significant topic of discussion, today's live session will feature a lecture by who, in my opinion, is a person who, in my opinion, is a great academic, a good friend, companion extraordinaire, an experienced speaker, Dr. S. Veeramani, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Government Arts College, Kulithalai, who will be delivering what I believe will be yet another useful presentation for researchers on the topic avoiding plagiarism to achieve academic research integrity. So as usual, Dr. Veeramani will be interacting with you all at the end of the session. So kindly post your queries, if any, in the live chat stream during the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. I would now like to invite Dr. Rama, Professor and Head Department of English and Other Foreign Languages, to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Walter. Good evening and hearty welcome to all the participants. On behalf of the Department of English and Other Foreign Languages, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram Campus, I once again invite you all and welcome you all most heartily to day 6 of the 1 week International Faculty Development Program. I would, at this juncture, I would like to thank all the participants for your overwhelming response through a very positive feedback that you all have been registering so far. So thank you all once again and welcome. Definitely, all of you will know that we have heard of many cases where senior professors in universities have been stripped of their titles. MPhil and PhD dissertations have run into very serious trouble, and many journal and other kind of articles have been outright rejected because of the content being plagiarized. Now, this integrity in research is a very, very important and vital aspect, and it's a very sensitive one also. So, to deliberate on this very sensitive topic, we have invited a very passionate speaker, Dr. Veeramani, Assistant Professor, Government Arts College, Kulithalai. Dr. Veeramani is not a stranger to us, and in fact is a very good friend of our department. He is a very simple, down-to-earth person, at the same time very knowledgeable, who can share a lot of insights on a number of topics in both language and literature. So I think he's the right person to chair the session today. So I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to you, sir, for joining us today. And I would also heartily welcome you on behalf of all of us here to this session today. So he is, of course, going to make his presentation on avoiding plagiarism in order to achieve integrity in research. So thank you once again, sir. And to present this this wonderful person to the audience, I would like to invite my colleague, Dr. Savitha.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening to everyone present here. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our esteemed guest and speaker, Dr. S. Veeramani, on day 6 of our FDP program. He is an illustrious alumnus of St. St. Joseph College, Trichy, and thereafter started his career as assistant professor of English at St. Joseph's College, Trichy, and later moved to Aringer Anna Government Arts College, Namakkal. Since 2017, he is associated with Government Arts College, Kulithalai. He is also a coordinator of IQAC, NIRF, and soft skills. Dr. Veeramani has published numerous articles in national and international journals and authored two books titled The Rudiments of English Communication and Ilakkiya Kotpadugal, Literary Theories in Tamil, which proves his expertise in both English and Tamil language. He has received a number of awards for his quality teaching and also been a jestful resource person for more than 50 events organized by various institutions across the state. He has chaired sessions in over 30 conferences. He is also a recognized research advisor, doctoral committee member, external examiner for research scholars, editor, reviewer, and member in professional bodies like International Association of Scientific Innovation and Research, the Literary Herald, and a lot more. Dr. Veeramani is a proud recipient of Kanavu Nayagan Abdul Kalam Award, Sanga Tamizhar Award, the Best Faculty Award, and the Best Paper Publication Award. We are all very pleased to have you, sir, amidst us today, and I welcome you to take over the forum. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for this invitation. First of all, I would like to thank the the university management, and I have to thank head of the Department of English and other foreign languages, Dr. Rema, and Professor Dr. Savitha, Associate Professor of English, and Dr. Walter, Associate Professor of French. In the beginning itself, Dr. Walter has posed a question that is true or false. He said that he is a very knowledgeable person. He refers to me. He is a very great and knowledgeable person, and he is a very good friend of mine. So, in this, very knowledgeable person is a false. But I am a very good friend of Dr. Walter is true. So, in the beginning itself, he has posted a question. I do not know how many questions will be there at the end of this session. So we started with the questioning session rather than the presentation. Okay. So I have to thank each and every participant and all the active participants for this forum, that is intellectual forum, rather than the webinar or a faculty development program. We can rightly call that it is an intellectual forum. And yeah, I would like to share my screen. Yes. Is my screen visible to you? If anybody can.
No, sir, not yet, not yet.
Not yet, but only the blank.
No, sir, you have to click on share, and then again you'll get a
Oh
dialog box
yeah,
with
okay,
a
okay,
blue
okay,
button.
okay, 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 okay. Now it will be visible. I think so. Yeah, is
Yes,
it visible right now?
yes, it is.
Is it?
It
Yeah,
is
okay.
visible, sir.
Yeah, okay. I can maximize the size also for your sake. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, avoiding plagiarism to achieve research integrity. Actually, in this today's um, a cyber world, in the cyber technology, we find a plethora of sources of various kinds. It will be available in the form of physical material and in the form of soft copies, okay, and in the form of what should I say, some on the internet you find many more resources, many more books and so on. So it's very difficult to find out where the particular idea or a concept or statement has been taken from. So that is the very tedious job today right now. And because of this, the say for example, if somebody wants to somebody wants to write a research article on any subject, no, any kind of subject, and he wants to publish it on the UGC CAR listed, or else in the Scopus indexed, or else the MLA listed. Uh, we actually they also very find it very difficult to identify whether this research article has a number of plagiarism and so on, because I do not want to believe the plagiarism software, the plagiarism checker, because it checks only the similarities, not that concept wise plagiarism. Only it checks that the similarities and the same word is there in this particular site, or else in that site, like that it takes, it searches that engine, it searches and it finds and presents that the similarities. That's why you find that at the end of the report of the plagiarism, you find the only the similarities, not that plagiarism and so on, but only the similarities you find that, because it reads only the words, the languages, and what should I say, and the texts, but not the concepts, but not the ideas. For ideas to in order to identify a person's integrity, whether he has taken from other source or not, or else whether he has plagiarism in his research article or thesis, a manual working is 100% needed, not that plagiarism tools. I do not want to believe in a plagiarism tool. I have also turn it in software. Okay, we can put that essay or article or the thesis in the Turnitin, but it will say only the similarities, not that concept wise plagiarism, not that the idea wise plagiarism. So that's why, in this way, what I, if from the beginning itself, at the outset itself, I would like to tell you, and I would like to ask the research scholars and the people and the professors, those who are very much interested in writing research articles, they must follow their own consciousness. Okay, their own consciousness. In that sense, we can say that it is a research integrity. Okay, it is what we call research integrity. Yeah, now we can uh, yeah, yes, yeah. Plagiarism is a linguistic phenomenon. Actually, plagiarism, you know that it is a linguistic phenomenon, because linguistic phenomenon only produces concepts, ideas. All on a sudden a concept cannot be created. A concept, an idea, some knowledge that are created through the use of linguistic terms, through the use of linguistic concepts. That's why plagiarism, in the beginning, we can call that it is a kind of a linguistic phenomenon, first of all. And then it is derived from the Latin word that is kidnapping. It's a kidnapping and a plunder. Okay, we can say that kidnapping in the sense without the person's consent. Okay, we can take away from the person's possession. This is what we call that kidnapping. So plagiarism is nothing but a kidnapping a person's idea, and also it is parallel to stealing the other people's offspring. Who says is Angel El Carter in 2000? It says she says that it is to steal the offspring. You know, offspring is a child. Offspring is a child. So if you want to steal the child of a person, the brainchild, child which means the brainchild of somebody else. Okay, the brainchild which means the knowledge, the product which is created by a person's knowledge, the intellectual labor, even sometimes the physical labor which takes place. Okay, and then you know that it is very well understood the concept that is persons, ideas, possessions, and process, images, designs, and elements. Everything is taken from other person without getting the proper knowledge, and also some people are not able to acknowledge the person's idea in the text or in the written manuscript or and so on. Okay, sometimes it may go wrong, but at least you can say that it is taken from in this book or in that material, in that essay, in that YouTube, in that social media. Now we have a number of social media. Even in the social media, we find the knowledgeable things, and the intellectual discussions are going. Okay, so from that also we can take, just you have to quote it. Okay, thereby we can say that sometimes plagiarism is unintentionally. It happens even in my life also, unintentionally, in the sense it talks about and it involves the psychology of a person. Okay, the unintentionally is it is involving in the psyche of a person. We can read we can read a text. Okay, and then we can read another text. The one text echoes the another text, and sometimes automatically, when the echoing process is taking place in your mind, automatically you yourself say that this is what that, and that is what, with the same word or in the same structure of a sentence, in the same concept. Okay, so that is unintentional. The unintentional can be at the very lesser percentage, not in the higher percentage, only in the lesser percentage, and so on. Okay, this is what I would like to tell you. Yeah, that's why I told you, know, that is the psychological memory bias called cryptomnesia. This is what we call, it is a term. That term is cryptomnesia. That means you do not know whether you have taken from other person unintentionally. You say, okay, this is what we call cryptomnesia. Okay, yeah, that is the point. That is a new term you can learn. And then the forms of academic plagiarism. It is little plagiarism. Actually, it describes about the copying the text without what should I say? What should I say? There is no disguise at all. There is no disguise at all, in the sense you are not making any changes. Only the little plagiarism, what it is written or there on the text, no, the same is also adapted by the author. This is what we call the literal plagiarism that comes under forms of academic plagiarism. And then second one is we have that it is copy and paste after the arrival of computer, no, after the arrival of computer, and after the arrival of computer literacy program, many people are customized to do the copy and paste model. Okay, copy and paste model, it is a normal thing only. But if we do copy and paste for the sake of our own criticism and our own things and our own ideas, it is not an issue. But the thing is, when a person's idea is copied and the same idea is pasted on the other text. No, this is not that right way, and it is also a form of academic plagiarism. Okay, and then another thing is the shake and paste. That means copying and merging of a text. Okay, and with the slight adjustments to form a coherent text. Okay, for example, I would like to tell you that by changing word order, it's by using the fillers. Yes, that is what this is what to say. It is considered as, or it is believed that one can understand, one should have the idea. Like that, we can use all the shake and paste concept. Okay, so this is also one of the forms of academic plagiarism. And then the disguised plagiarism is practices to conceal and dually copied. Disguised plagiarism is very, very dangerous. So you do not want to what would I say, tell the sources where we have taken from, what does it mean, and where you have taken from. You do not want to say anything else. Just you just copy and paste, and you claim that this is my own. This is the text used by and written by me. So that is what we call the disguised plagiarism. And paraphrasing, most of the students of research, and most of the even some of the professors, they go in for paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is sometimes called intentional rewriting of foreign thoughts in the vocabulary and style of the plagiarist without acknowledging the source. Okay, because people think that I'm paraphrasing, I'm using my own language. They claim that I'm using my own language. Okay, it's a good, I accept. You are using your own language, but whose ideas? But whose concepts? But whose intellectual product? Okay, whose intellectual product? But somebody else's intellectual products, and somebody else's ideas, and someone else's concepts you are taking, but you are putting in your own words. You can claim that, sir, I am putting it in my own words, sir. Okay, words are yours, the structure is yours, I accept it, but whose concepts? So in that way, people are telling that paraphrasing is also, say for example, another tool is also there, that is the Quillbot. That is a paraphrasing tool. Okay, Quillbot is a paraphrasing tool, and if you use that particular tool, um, automatically it will change the sentence and structure, but doesn't know the concept. But it knows only the structure, it knows only the synonyms, it knows only the antonyms, it knows only the active voice and passive voice and other grammatical parts, but it doesn't know the concept, the ideas, the intellectualism, and in which way we have to present our own idea. These things it doesn't know. That is the Quillbot. That tool's name is Quillbot. Okay, so that's what I tell you, that you mean some people do not accept and acknowledge the source. Okay, the paraphrasing is also a kind of plagiarism that comes under plagiarism. And technical disguise. In the technical disguise, we can say that um, the exploitation of weakness of current detection approaches to make plagiarism. That's what I am telling earlier. Technical disguise in the sense, now we have authenticate. Okay, and then turn it in software, and we have Urkund software. In India, most of the universities and most of the colleges, they use Urkund software. In foreign countries, they use only the turn it in softwares. Okay, turn software. I am also using that turn it in software. But what I tell you is, these softwares they detect only the language part. That's all. Okay, only the mechanic aspect. Only the mechanic aspect. It will not detect the content. It will not detect the concept from others. Nobody can do it. I tell you that it is very difficult at all. Plagiarism is involving in plagiarism is also kind of a dangerous one, first of all. And then to detect and to identify whether the person has taken from this particular source or not, it is also highly tedious. It's a highly tedious one, I tell you, because it involves technology as well as human knowledge, human mind. Okay, if a human mind involves the particular person who is going to detect the plagiarism, he should have read all the books. He should have read number of books, a plethora of books. Only then he is able to recognize and feel the echoing of this idea with the other book. Okay, with the other book, with the other material, other source, and something like that. So that is why I tell you this technical uses sometimes can say that the similarities. Okay, it detect only the copying, only the copying. If a person is very very technical, and if a person is very skillful to change the words and sentences and structure, that all the tools are waste. All the tools are worthless. I tell you. Okay. So that is the point you must understand. So translator is also plagiarism. If you want to say for example, I have written my book in Tamil, but I am not able to translate my book into an English. Okay, because I am translating, I should get the copyright from the Tamil publisher, and then only I am able to translate that book into English. So this is the problem takes place. Okay, even if you are a author, even if you are the sole owner of that book, you have to get the right authority and the right what should I say, the legal process and so on from the other. Okay, so translation is also sometimes plagiarism. So if you want to translate, you must get the proper permission, say so, from the copyrighted person. And self plagiarism, you can say that, sir, this is some people can say that they have published their they have submitted their thesis, and the thesis is also awarded, and he, because she or he becomes a doctorate, and then he or she wants to take at least a few pages from that particular thesis, and they want to publish on the um, any peer reviewed journal. It is self plagiarism. That's also plagiarism, because you must get the permission from the university. But people do not get the permission from the university, but they believe and they claim that this is my one thesis, and I have written for 7 to 9 years, 7 to 9 years, and after that I have got my PhD viva version after 13 years. Okay, after 13 years, I have my PhD viva version, and how much I have suffered. So this is my own thesis. Why can't I publish the paper or a few extracts from the thesis on the peer-reviewed journal? People believe, people think like that, but that is also coming under the plagiarism. And presenting updates and providing access to a larger community and republishing it. So when you republish it on your own, it is also a kind of a plagiarism. So appropriate acknowledgement is there. Okay, acknowledge whatever you do, acknowledge, or just put it in a quote. Okay, just you put it in a quote, and certain things are excluded from the plagiarism. Say for example, if you say the quoting is also excluded from the plagiarism, and if you have the bibliography, okay, that is the work cited, Okay, these are all excluded from the plagiarism, the endnotes, footnotes, and the acknowledgements, and so on. No, these things are excluded. Only the text, only the proper text can be used, can be put to identify whether this thesis or the concept, this paper has a plagiarism or not. So, and after the second, the next point I would like to tell is cross language plagiarism detection, CLPD. It aims to identify documents plagiarized by translation from source document in another language. So it is used to identify the translation and how translation is written and how the translated version is taken as a plagiarized. Okay, so these things are there. The next point is PAN. It is not permanent account number. Okay, it is an acronym for plagiarism, analysis, authorship, identification, and near duplicate detection. So this is we call that it is also involved in the technical aspect. In the technical aspect, in the sense, it needs certain software. Okay, the authorship identification, it's a very, 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 very difficult process. This span is very difficult process because author's identification, for that we need some softwares. Some softwares are very, very costly, very costly. We cannot afford it for a single person to identify. Okay, and the next thing is yeah, CBPD, that is citation based plagiarism detection. Okay, and technically speaking, a reference in a document, yeah, I read and understand. I just read and understand. A reference in a document, A is a bibliographic note that describes a document B. Okay, A is a bibliographic note that describes a document B. If document A contains a reference to B, sorry, yeah, a reference to document B, then the B receives a citation from A. The B receives a citation from A. So that's why we need the citation from the A, because we are giving importance to the B. Okay, we are giving importance to the document called B. So that's why we call that citation based plagiarism detection. Okay, CBPD. This is the acronym of this. It is latest technology. This is the latest one. This particular idea is updated. It is not that simply the obsolete. Okay, it is not an obsolete, but it is a latest one. Okay, and then dimensions of similarity. Dimensions. There are different dimensions for similarity. Number one is the lexical dimension, and then semantic dimension. Number third, that is the last one, is structural dimension. We find that lexical idea, lexical concept, in the sense the words. If I use boy, the same, some other writer can use boy, or else a guy. Okay, they can use guy. So like that it goes. The lexical aspect, and in the semantic aspect, the meaning is also the same. The meaning is same, but the structure is different. The same way, the structural aspect, the structural dimension, structural dimension, in the sense, sometimes people have the tendency of changing that active voice into passive voice into active voice. That's all. They have written their own language, and their own idea, their own concept. That's all. The what would I say? The research guides also understands. Okay, this is your own idea because the language is changed. Sometimes people cannot use that difficult words. They have the tendency, they have the skill, they are very, very skilled in it. They will not use that very, very difficult words. Say, for example, he is a sophisticated person. I would like to give you a sentence that is, he is a sophisticated person. He removes the sophisticated. He uses only skilled person. Okay, he is a skilled person. The skilled person is Mr. So on so. You see the structural changes. Is there any semantic changes, or is there any semantic originality? Anything else you find it? Yes, originality is the same. The semantic idea is same. The concept is same, but the structural concept is totally different. So in that way, people are involving the plagiarism. So that's why in foreign countries they have a movement called, now we have in literature there are so many movements, no, like uh, a classical movement and neoclassical, and then romantic movement and Victorian movement, modern movement. Now we are in the um, education of 4.0. Okay, 4.0 movements now we are in. Even in economics, we find that economics 4.0. So now we are living in that particular era. So this is what we call that movement. Movement, it takes place. But in foreign countries, they have a movement. That movement talks about, that movement insists that honor codes. The honor codes, that means I am honest person. I am a honest person. I do not want to copy from others. I write on my own language, my own concept. Sometimes, if needed, if necessary, I can quote from others with parenthetical documentation, and I would like to acknowledge them. These things are there, and they have taken oath. They have taken oath in the universities. More than 200 universities, more than 200 universities and colleges in foreign universities, especially US. They have that kind of honor codes. That's the movement. If we have in India the same movement in different name, okay, in different name or in different aspect, we can avoid the involving the plagiarism. So this is the point. This is the point I would like to tell you through my webinar here. That is the movement. That is the honor codes. So that's why I tell you that sometimes the lexical similarity also exhibit the 100% overlapping because of the vocabularies. The vocabularies and word order. People think that vocabularies will not show any similarity and so on. Definitely vocabulary, because now we have a computerized thesaurus. Computerized thesaurus. If you see, say for example, if you go with the Grammarly software, no, Grammarly software, or else if you have the Ginger software, Ginger software is also for checking the grammar part of article. Okay, the Grammarly software is also to check the grammatical errors and the grammatical findings. Okay, so if you go in for that, it will give you the synonyms. It will give you the synonyms and antonyms and the right words and the sentence structure and so on. It will give you the clues, because already these are in data. All these things are in data. You find that. So everything is now the data oriented. So that's why I tell you the semantic similarities measure the similarity of two or more text based, and the conceptual meaning. Yeah, semantics, that means the conceptual meaning. So, sir, I think that is the theory of relativity today, sir. Okay, I think. Okay, sorry, not I would like to give you some other example. Theory of relativity is already done by Albert Einstein in 1905. Okay, in 1905. I'm not talking about that. Um, yeah, education 5.0 is also in foreign countries, but I tell you, education 6.0. Now I think in my place, at my home, in my village, I think education 6.0. A person, a very talented, a gifted, okay, talented, gifted with knowledge, okay, very sophisticated, and that particular person who is living in US, he thinks education 6.0. Sir, what about sir? He also has the same point. I also have the same point. What about that, sir? Yes, the similarity will be there. But the way you present, isn't it? The way you present, say for example, Indian history. There is a book called India. Say for example, another example I would like to give you. A book on English, history of English literature. A book on history of English literature. David Deutsch has written 2 volumes of a history of English literature. Enrich, I'm sorry, Crompton Rickett has published a book on history of English literature. A.D. Xavier has written a social history of English literature. Hudson, history of English literature. Okay, and still some more authors. Still some more authors are there to talk about the history of English literature. But concepts are the same. But the way you present now, the way you present, the ideas are slightly changed because history. You might have asked the question, sir. All are presenting the same idea only, sir. The common knowledge can be given. The exception is given for the common knowledge, the common idea, the history. You need not to go for references for the history. In 1947, we got freedom. For this, you need not to give that quotation mark and the reference and parenthetical document and the sources from the British Library, the Library of Congress. Okay, you should not have that kind of thing. So there is a difference between the historical document and the historical event, the common knowledge, the common idea, with the other person's the brainchild. Okay, brainchild. Yeah, this is what I would like to tell you. Uh, yeah, you find that I would like to give you an example. Actually, I have taken all these points from the PDF books. I have searched from the internet because I am talking about the plagiarism. I am talking about plagiarism. I am presenting about the plagiarism. So I would like to acknowledge that all the ideas are taken from the internet. Okay, from the PDF format, from the books. I would like to show that in the last from where I have taken. Okay, yes. No, none is my idea. Okay, none is my idea. My idea. Nothing is my idea. Okay, everything is taken from the internet. Yes, and then you find that the world is a globe. Okay, and before the earlier statement, you find that the earth is round. The earth is round. The earth is round, and the world is a globe. Both the meanings are the same. The conceptual meaning both are the same, but the structure is different. Okay, the language is different. This is what we should not do. This is what we should not do for example, for historical documentation and for common knowledge and all, you can use it. Okay, it is a common, the earth is round is a common. Nobody can deny that it is in the size of rectangle. Nobody can say that, but this is acceptable. But the structure is different. Okay, this is for the common knowledge. So that's what I told you earlier. Okay. Yes, my dear friends. And um, Kessler only coined the term called the bibliographic coupling. Bibliographic coupling in the sense we find a number of bibliography. Okay, bibliography and here and there and so on. Finally, it shows that the um, plagiarism and so on. And then actually plagiarism is, Mertsky says in 2002, what she says is academic cheating. Plagiarism is a kind of academic cheating, and it is an act of intellectual rape and intellectual murder, most foul, most foul. Are you able to see the language of Shakespeare? Okay, are you able to see and are you able to echo the language of Shakespeare? Most foul and murder and intellectual rape, like that, the academic cheating. Yeah, it's a kind of academic cheating. It's a kind of intellectual rape. So we should not do that. If you are expected to say something idea for others, just put it in code and say. Nobody can find fault with you. Nobody can find fault with you if you put everything in quote, in quotation. I mean quotation and the proper acknowledgement. Okay. And another thing is patch writing. You know that the women, they know very well about patchworking. Patchworking, they would have done it at their home as a hobby. Okay, as a hobby, and taking from one color from somewhere else and another color from somewhere else and yet another color, and then they create something new like Shakespeare. Okay, like Shakespeare. What does Shakespeare do? Shakespeare has taken his source from Plutarch's Lives, and then he has taken from Boccaccio, the writings of Boccaccio, and he has taken the writings of um, Hollingshead's Chronicles. Okay, and after that he has made the patchworking, and finally he has produced the very world famous drama Othello, the very world famous drama. This one, Macbeth. Okay, you find number of dramas, the historical plays, it's like patchwork. It is also kind of what should I say, it's a plagiarism. Shakespeare has a plagiarized. Okay, many writers have a plagiarist. I can list out many writers that have a plagiarized for their writings. Sometimes the text or the title also echoes, the title also the same thing. Say for example, in a new historicism, and what should I say, some of the historical writers of today, especially some writers of myth with with the fiction, they write from the historical titles. They just simply adapt the historical titles for their writings. This is what we call the patchworking. Okay, the same. Yeah, one for one, the synonym substitutes, and it's quite common. It happens. Synonym substitutes. Yeah, earlier I told you, the globe and the round, like that, no, globe and round. Okay, it is a circle, globe, round, and then a circle. These are all the synonyms. So they use only the synonyms for their writings. 6:30. 6:30. Um, yeah, I told you, that is the Center for Academic Integrity. It is created by Duke University in North California. Okay, in the North California, you find that the honor codes, many American institutions, they have created the honor codes. Honor codes we have created Okay, but we are doing not that honor codes and so on. We should create the honor codes. At your institutions, you can create your honor codes. At the institutional level, okay, at the institutional level, or else at the departmental level, you can produce, you can create a honor codes, you can create a preamble, and then some of the concepts and ideas, and then you can create the research integrity in your college, in your department, and so on. So it is created by Duke University in Napa, California. Actually, it was created in 1992. Okay, mostly I told you, I said 200, but here you find that the exact number is 220 universities and colleges. They have adapted this honor codes. Okay, and then students also participated in this, and they have how many of us know the punishments for the copyright infringements? How many of us know? How many of us, even including the research guides and research supervisors and research doers, how many of us know the punishments, the penalization, the fines for the copyright infringements, and for the judicial process, and so on? But nobody knows. It is our duty to tell all these things to the research scholars. Okay, that is what we call the IPR, that is intellectual property rights. I have a book that is IPR. Still, I am reading to have some knowledge about the IPR in order to say, in order to tell something about the IPR to my students to do their research work. Okay, so it's our duty. We have to do it. Okay, then 6 knowledge-related reasons for the referencing. We can reference. It is unavoidable. Referencing is an unavoidable. Yeah, Dr. Walter, can I take a few more minutes, or shall I go fast? If you say I can
Sir,
go
please,
accordingly,
please take your time, sir.
I can take my own time till 10:30.
Take
Okay,
as much
okay.
time as you need to complete, sir. Please.
Okay. I can go fast because I must understand. Some people might have some commitments to do at their homes or outside,
Yes,
so that
yes, sir.
I will go very fast. Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
yeah. Thank you very much, Walter, Dr. Walter. And 6 knowledge-related reasons for the referencing. Referencing. Why do you refer? Okay, why do you refer? It is because of the facilitation of the tracing out the origins of the ideas, and then it will help your own ideas, and you want to support your ideas, and then you want to validate your argument. Okay, you want to validate your argument. Only then you are doing the reference, not for the sake of filling up the pages. You should not do the references. That's why I have classified the 6 reference, the knowledge related reasons for the referencing. The referencing aspect, the referencing attitude is only for these purposes, not for the sake of filling up the pages and running. Some people can give 4 tabs, and they split many paragraphs. Okay, they split so many paragraphs on a page. On a page, they split so many paragraphs. Not like that. Okay, then acknowledge the works of others. It is a very greater thing, that is, we have to acknowledge the others' works. It's we provide honor to them. Okay, that's the thing. First of all, that is the very important thing. And then interrogating sources and relevance, we can find that is the source relevant to the our research topic? Do we have information, and is that balanced and objectives? And then do we have any counter arguments? Okay, all these things we can have that. And then to inform the sources, the tables, statistics, and diagrams. 6 scenarios for the references. and then describing the theory, model practice, and then in order to give weightage and credibility, okay, credibility to your knowledge, and for all these things you have a referencing, okay, and then yeah, conceptual actually um, what should I say? There is a conceptual model of a plagiarism. Conceptual model of plagiarism, which talks about the major theoretical perspectives from the disciplinary areas of law, literary theories, and cross-cultural studies. Actually, this model is an intertwining of theoretical perceptions of plagiarism with the teaching practices. Actually, this takes, actually we do the references when we teach the law with the literature, okay, law with the literature and cross cultural things. It is for the sake of giving much more knowledge to the students, not for that sake of plagiarism. You should not ask that, sir, you are also doing plagiarism at the classroom, sir, when you say that from here and there and it's like a patchwork, sir. It's not like that. Okay, yes, and then olden history. Before the Gutenberg's printing press arrival in 1450, there was a revolution took place. That is, nobody should rewrite the Bible. Okay, from there itself in 14th century, that is in the first half of the 15th century, we can say that in the first half of the 15th century, we find that in that particular year itself, the avoidance of plagiarism took place. Not now, okay, not now, because now it is we are tended to create, we are tended to do our PhDs. PhDs are sometimes mandatory. PhDs will give you the job opportunities. The articles are giving you weightage. Okay, the standardized and talented person on the forum and so on. Only then we people do that avoid the plagiarism and so on. So, but plagiarism took place in 1450. For this, I cannot have that references and quotes because it is a common one. It is a history. Okay, I can present it in some other way also, but the concept is the same. I would like to give you the example when I narrate. Yeah, serious. It is a plagiarism is a serious. Actually, 10 percentage. Say for example, give a 10 percentage. If you write 2,500 words, 250 words will be plagiarized. If you say that 10 percentage, if you say that 10 percentage, you find that 250 words will be there. So automatically the similarities will go high. The similarities will go high. Okay. So in order to avoid the similarities, sometimes I tell you that within the quote, sometimes you can go in for a few synonymous, not to the hilt, not to the core. Okay, not to the core, not for all these statements. For some of the words and statements, you can have it very carefully, very carefully. Okay, then types of plagiarism. Plagiarism can occur in many ways, like direct plagiarism, as I told you, patchwork and insufficient citation, paraphrasing, insufficient citation of a paraphrase, and then graphs, charts, figures. If you want to say graphs and charts and figures from others, you just say this graph or chart is taken from this site and this particular source and so on within the quote, everything. And then if numbers are superscribed, okay, superscripted on the table or on the bar or on the line on the curve, again you just add some more line on it. Okay, you just add some more line on it, some more words on it, some more sentences, some more information on that. So it becomes a kind of a it becomes a kind of your own. It looks like, but it is not. It becomes your own. It looks like your own. Okay, it looks like. Very carefully I have to use the terms here regarding the plagiarism. Okay, yes, and then you find that it is a common knowledge misinterpretation. Yeah, direct plagiarism. Direct plagiarism is a word for word. Okay, word for word we are using the direct plagiarism. Actually, the source text, no, I give you the source text. This is important that our behavior is affected by our assumption, okay, or our perceived truths. We make decision based on what we think we know. It was not too long ago that the majority of people believed the world was flat. This is the concept I have written. Okay, in this particular, I mean not written, but I have taken from this source. Okay, sneak, yes, 2011. This is the APA model. I have given this citation in the APA model, not that the MLA model, not that the Chicago model, not that the Harvard model. Okay, it is only the APA model. I have given this. This is important that our behavior is affected by our assumptions or our perceived truth. We make decision based on. This is the source text. Okay, you find that. I have written here. This is the source text. This is the source. Draft. I have written the draft in my paper. How I have written? This is important that our behavior is affected by our assumptions or our perceived truths. We make decision based on what we think we know. It was not too long ago that the majority of people believed the world was flat. Okay, okay, you find that here. This is important that our behavior. I have written that this is important. It is a copying, the same copying, but the corrected draft, how you can write it, the corrected draft, how you can write and how you can avoid the plagiarism. Yes, you find the corrected draft here. Sneak believed that because the author is given, no, the author is given here. Sneak, yes, 2011. His book is Start with Why, How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action. It is published by Penguins. Okay, this is the draft, and that is this is the original text. I mean the source text. Okay, source text, and then the correct draft. Sneak believed. Sometimes you can use Sneak's idea, Sneak's concept. It is to say that Sneak has. Now, what I have written like this, Sneak believed that people's behavior is affected by, within the quote, no, affected by our assumptions or perceived truths. 11. 11 I have given. Why I have given in between 11? Okay, the page number. The page number is given here. 11. Okay, 11. Then put a period there. And then again it starts with the it. It is totally asserted. Is there any word called totally asserted? Here you find that. Is there any word? No. Nothing else is there. But here I have written, it is totally asserted to what they think and you. Sneak 11. This is the corrected draft. Nobody can find fault with you. This is how you can avoid plagiarism. Okay, this is how you can avoid plagiarism in text plagiarism. If you want to avoid in text plagiarism, it is actually you need to have much more practices. I tell you, you need to have much more practices. Only then you are able to avoid that plagiarism, or else just simply quote it. Okay, then second one is direct patchwork. Direct patchwork. Okay, it is, you know, that the word for word again, it is a direct patchwork. So from other sources. From other sources is very important. Yeah. Yeah. You find that example source text. What is the example source text? I have written the example source text is postmodernism is broad movement that developed in the mid to late 20th century across philosophy. Okay, across philosophy. Across philosophy, in the sense you might have asked that, sir, is it across globe or across in India or across North American history? Across philosophy, in the sense there are a number of philosophies. Okay, Kantian philosophy, Hegelian philosophy, Heideggerian philosophy, Derridian philosophy, and then Jungian philosophy. Okay, you find number of philosophies. Only then I have written that is postmodernism is a broad movement that developed in the mid to late 20th century across philosophy, the arts, architecture, and criticism, marking a departure from modernism. The term has been more generally applied to describe a historical era set to follow after modernity and the tendencies of this era. This is the source text. Okay, this is the source text. You have the same kind of text with you, or else you have some other text with you, like this as the source text. I have, yeah, this is the red color, no, this the red color writing is the sign, that is a citation. That means the work cited, the bibliography, postmodernism, 2001, November 14, Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, retrieved August 3rd, okay, 3, 2021. From this URL is given. Sometimes you can take from URL. Sometimes you can take in from Wikipedia. Okay. Sometimes you can take in from other blogs. Okay. The educational blogs and so on. The draft. What I have written the draft. Postmodernism is a broad movement that developed in the mid to late 20th century across philosophy, the arts, architecture, and criticism, marking a departure from modernism. The term has been more generally applied to describe a historical era set to follow after modernity and the tendencies of this era. Okay, the correct draft I have written, it is to say that postmodernism is an elaborate that developed in the mid-late 20th century, Wikipedia : postmodernism. That's all. That's all. I have not written much more. I have not written much more because some of the ideas are not relevant to me. Some of the ideas are not relevant to me. Why should I unnecessarily quote that? The postmodernism is a broad movement that developed in the mid to late 20th century across the philosophy, the arts, architecture, and criticism, marking a departure from modernism. That means from the modernism only we have a postmodernism. It is a continuation of modernism. That's why this man, what should I say? That is Jürgen Habermas. Jürgen Habermas, what he says is modernity is an incomplete project. There is an essay called Modernity is an Incomplete Project. Okay. The term has been more generally applied to describe the historical era said to follow after modernity and the tendencies of this era. But what I have written, the correct draft is, you find that it is to say that postmodernism is an elaborate that developed in the late 20th century. Wikipedia postmodernism. Okay, so with this, some of the sources, some of the texts I have written. Okay, so corrected drafts and so on. I have given that. Yeah, only a few things are there. Then yeah, it is. Okay, dear friends. With this, I complete my session, that is presentation. I do not want to take much more time. Actually, there is a difference between plagiarism and copyright. It is very important. You must know that plagiarism is, you find that it is ethical violation. Actually, it is an ethical violation, lack of a proper attribution. But copyright infringement is legal violation because it involves money. Okay, in the copyright you find involves money, but in plagiarism you find that is what should I say, the violation of ethical violation. Okay, with this I complete my presentation today. So thank you very much for your patient listening and uh, your present here. Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
very much.
much, Dr. Veeramani.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you sir
my
for
dear
wonderful
friend
time.
and colleague,
Yeah,
Professor, I really have to say that though despite your honesty, your down to earth attitude, and the fact that you mentioned that you have taken from you have quoted the sources from where you have taken these ideas, your passion in delivering them as mentioned by a lot of the participants also is clear, that you are so passionate about any topic that you take up, and that shows your integrity, sir. And I
thank
thank
you.
you so much for that. I think we can take some questions now, sir, if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
okay.
The first question is there on the screen, sir. You can.
Researchers who plagiarize or otherwise engage in academic dishonesty face serious consequences. Is that due to inadequate referencing of text or any other reason, sir? Actually, for plagiarism, uh, is the academic dishonesty. Okay, I understand that. This is a common understanding. Actually, any other uh, action in the sense it depends upon the suitor. Okay, it depends upon the suitor, and then it is what would I say, it is a serious problem only, it is a serious problem only. But sometimes what we have heard from the uh, other sources, no, a guideship can be cancelled. Okay, guideship can be cancelled. And another thing is what would I say, his research articles cannot be considered for the other promotions. Okay, so because it is a plagiarism, so these things are there. Actually it is not a very uh, we can settle it by having with the quotes and the references. But if you get the permission, and if you have a good rapport with that of a particular suitor, then you can redo it and you can get aligned with them. Okay, redo it. Redo in the sense that is within the code, within the proper references, you can redo it. That is what we call the integrity. Okay, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, if we want to publish our thesis as a book, should we have to get permission from authorities? Kindly clarify. Definitely, because when you submit your thesis to the university of any kind, okay, there is a declaration. This work has not been awarded earlier or in the diploma or degree or any certificate program. It is a purely written and produced by the candidate, and you give the certificate, and the guide also will give you the certificate, and it is submitted to the university. Once it is submitted to the university, that is the product of the university. Okay, so we need to get the permission from the registrar or else the concerned authority or else VC. Okay, concerned authority, and then only you can publish that your thesis, because you have to be on the safer side. Though it is your own work, you have taken so many physical strains and mental strains and everything you have taken. I understand, but you have submitted to the university. So in that case, you must get the permission from the university authorities. They will give you. They will give you. It is not an issue. They will give. Yeah. Next question. If plagiarism is academic cheating, then why they still allow a certain percentage of it? Also, if someone quotes all of their work, will that be not counted under plagiarism? Actually, yeah, it is. Why do they allow in the sense? Yeah, good, very good question. The thing is, that's why I tell you that you also think the same thing. The another person also can think the same thing. So in that way, you have your own idea and they have their own idea. The ideas can be overlapped. Okay, the ideas can be overlapped. So in that way, you can give your idea in different form. That's why earlier you should have done the literature review. You know that the review of literature, you should have done it. And then the percentage, in the sense we are dealing with linguistic phenomena. I told you earlier, that is the plagiarism and the writing thesis and everything is linguistic phenomena. In the linguistic phenomena, you have the same set of structure of speaking English. The same structure of speaking English, someone might have got it. So in that way, the similarities are allowed. Okay, to some extent, the similarities are allowed. Not to the 30% or 40% or 50, not like that. Some very lesser percentage it is allowed. Yeah, because of the linguistic concept. Sir, we are quoting the definitions with author's name. Still in Urkund software plagiarism, it comes. So what to do for quoting definitions and avoiding plagiarism? Actually, we have to, I think, Urkund might not have the option called remove quotation. I think so, but I'm not very clear about it. Okay, I'm not very clear about it. But I think Urkund might not have the option called remove quotation. So if you put that remove quotations, the remove quotations cannot be counted as plagiarism. It cannot be counted as a plagiarism. And even if it says that it is a plagiarism, you can say that this is the quote. It is a quotation. Maximum at the maximum, quotation cannot be read as a plagiarism. Sometimes you put in the beginning double quote, at the end you put only a single quote. So it may be the problem, it may be the technical error for this thing. So we have to be very careful about using the quotes. Yes, the next question. How much percentage quotations or paraphrasing is accepted, sir? Sir, I'm very sorry to say this question. I'm very sorry. Next question.
So there is a common question
Yes.
posted by more than 3-4 participants about
Okay.
how effective these tools for checking plagiarism are.
How effective, in the sense, that's why I told you that is authenticate, Urkund, then this Turnitin. These are all the available on the market. Okay, these are all the easily available on the market. So we can go in for that. Uh, uh, we should not depend on the technical softwares for plagiarism and so on. We can depend on, okay, we can depend on them, and we can get the percentage of similarities, and we can remove the similarities by using your own concepts, or else sometimes very lesser synonyms, sometimes very lesser synonyms. Okay, not all the times, not all the paragraphs, not all the entire thesis or entire pages or entire research work, but sometimes if necessary you can use it. But manual checking is very much needed, not that technical one. For technical one, you can find out only the similarities, but it will not even if it has the AI, artificial intelligence, in the forthcoming plagiarism software. Okay, plagiarism checking software might have AI also, artificial intelligence. Even if it comes, it will not understand the concept, because no technology can overcome human brain.
Thank you so much, sir. Due to lack of time, we must come to an the end of the Q&A session. I kindly request my yes, sir, it is time.
Okay.
I kindly request my colleague Dr.
Good
Savitha to
evening,
give
Dr.
her
Pritha Basu.
kind comments.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Veeramani.
Thank you,
Today
ma'am.
you have very clearly emphasized upon some of the major issues in the with regard to the plagiarism and how we need to strategize, that how we have to inculcate the responsibility that is in the
Honor
behavior in
codes.
research.
Yeah.
Yes, and also about you have very clearly deliberated the policies, the penalties. You have highlighted all the, touched upon all the other areas, and about how to quote things while copying the text, paraphrasing, that is the techniques to evade plagiarism in a very simple and in a very lucid style. You have very clearly explained. We are very thankful to you because uh, subsequently you have been a part of our webinars and
Yes.
FDP programs.
It is because of you
So
only.
thank.
It is because
For
of you and Dr. Walter.
last year for our 1 year, 1 week FDP, we started the session with you only, sir.
With
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
only.
yeah. It was, yeah,
Started the entire program with
yeah,
you as our first resource person.
yeah, definitely,
It is an
definitely.
unforgettable
So
moment.
No problem, no problem, no problem. I am part of
the
you.
information, I think every one of us have very much benefited with all the informations that you have shared with us today. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you
Shall
for
we
the
move to
management.
the formal vote of thanks, sir?
Okay,
I would
formal
like
vote
to
of thanks.
request.
Before formal vote of thanks, I would like to thank the management
Okay.
of SRM
Yes.
institution and Dr. Walter and Dr. Pritha Basu and Dr. Rama, head of the Department of English and other foreign languages. And yeah, special thanks to Dr. Savitha for
Yes.
having
Thank you.
introduced me
Yes.
to this institution in the last year. And then now also she has given one more chance to share my views on plagiarism. Last time I was talking about post-humanism. This time,
Post-humanism.
yeah, post-humanism. Now we talk about the plagiarism. And next, I do not know whether you will give me a chance to or not.
Yes. Definitely, we will call you once again, sir.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you will do
Definitely.
something which is entirely different and something which we have not seen before, I'm sure.
Okay. Thank you,
All your
everyone.
Because
sessions
that
are unique.
And I have to thank
we
all
are
the participants. I have to
Yes.
thank all the participants and all the participants who have questioned me. Okay. So thank you very much.
I would now like to request my colleague, Dr. Ms. Pritha Basu, to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, Pritha.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Walter. So it gives me great pleasure to present the vote of thanks today to conclude a fascinating and interesting session, rather interesting session organized by Department of English and Foreign Languages, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram, Chennai. To begin, I would want to express my gratitude to the Almighty for bestowing us with grace and blessings for the seamless running of the event. I would like to thank and place on record my sincere appreciation to Dr. S. Veeramani, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Government Arts College, Kulithalai, Karur, Tamil Nadu, for accepting to conduct today's session as part of the 1 week international faculty development program on curriculum development, research, and publication ethics for the teaching and research fraternity. He has deliberated this event with his perceptive analysis and exceptional expertise, especially on how to avoid plagiarism and achieve academic research integrity. Thank you, sir. I'm sure your ideas have enlightened our participants to take all the necessary steps to achieve their goal with excellence in academia. It's always great to have you here amongst us. I like to thank, thank you, sir. I like to thank the entire management of SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram, Chennai, for their constant motivation and guidance. Without a doubt, the success of all our activities is due to the tremendous support of all our colleagues in our department, particularly our HOD, Dr. Rema, who is the leading force behind it. Thank you once again, ma'am, for your support. Without our organizers duo, Dr. S. Savitha and Dr. Walter Hugh Parker's tireless efforts, this event wouldn't have been a success. My sincere gratitude for taking the initiative to host this entire program, which is so very beneficial for all of us, each one of us. And also my co-coordinator, Dr. Nagamani, who deserves a special mention for her unwavering support in all our endeavors. And last but not the least, I thank each and every participant for their participation, cooperation in making today's session a success. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank
A
you.
very good, happy weekend to you, sir. Yes.
I think he has left the session.
Yes, he
I
has.
think.
He
Yes.
is
Thank you,
very
Walter,
busy because
Pritha.
he is doing programs one after the other. So I don't know whether he has a session after this also. We never know.
And that too, during the pandemic time, he had done so many
Yes.
webinars
Yes, yes.
continuously.
He is a
Thank you,
very
Walter.
active and very dedicated person. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes,
Happy weekend. We'll see you
thank
on
you.
Monday, ma'am.
Thank you, Pritha.
Thank you, ma'am.